Hi guys, and welcome back to the ITA's channel, where today we are reviewing this, the brand new Mini Cooper S. So why would you buy one of these, the Mini Cooper S, over, say, a Ford Fiesta ST, or maybe the Volkswagen Polo, or even an Audi S1? Well, if you were the kind of kid that went to school, oh, parakeet. If you were the kind of kid that went to school wearing trainers with flashy bottoms, initials on the back, different colour laces to everyone else, then you might want to go and test drive one of these Minis. So in the 60 years of production of the Mini, not a lot has changed. They kind of use the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach, and it's kind of worked for them. But when BMW took over, they decided to add a lot more personalization to the car, and we'll come on to that in a second. So the S comes in quite a few different flavors. You've got a 3-door hatchback, which we're in now. You've got a 5-door hatchback. You've got a convertible. You've got the Clubberman, and if you're quite a larger family or you like to put a lot of things in the boot, of course you can go for the Countryman. And at BOTB.com right now, they are offering 4 different Minis you can win in their lineup for a dream car competition, which they run every single week. They've also got the incredible Mulgari Mini, which is quite the most modified, crazy Mini you can ever get your hands on. I've driven it before, and I have to say, it is awesome. So jump on BOTB.com, because you never know, you might be next week's winner. So with the Mini Cooper S, you get quite a few styling benefits over that of the Mini 1 and the Mini Cooper. That is the bonnet scoop on the front. You also get an aluminium fuel cap, different front and rear bumper, or you can go for the full fat John Cooper works car, which comes with different front bumpers, different rear bumpers. You also get increased horsepower as well, but it does come at a £5,000 premium. So on the 2018-19 model, with its midlife update, you get a few different changes as well. On the outside, some of the chrome bits you would have had on the last one are now blacked out, which is nice. You also get a sports front and rear bumper on all of the S models, and there's a few changes on the inside as well. One of which, and I love this, they have changed the fuel gauge. Finally, on the last one, it was horrible. It was very blocky, and it was either showing that you had lots of fuel and then all of a sudden nothing. At least now on this latest generation one, there's a lot more bars, and you get a better indication of how much fuel you've got left in the car. And all these new Minis now get the new Union Jack rear lights. Now, I love them, but I understand it's complete personal preference and potentially a little awkward in the current situation. Now onto the boot and space you get in this car. It's 211 litres, which is an improvement on the last one, but still nowhere near good enough for this class of car. But it is rubbish compared to its rivals, because the Ford Fiesta has 292 litres and the Polo has 351, so you're still not going to get much in the little Mini. Onto the rear seats in the Mini, and well, it has some, not a great deal of room, as you can imagine. If you've got kids, it's absolutely fine. Adults, even though the front seats move forward quite a lot, it is a little bit of a tight squeeze. You wouldn't want to be going on too long a journey with full-grown adults in the back. But of course, if you have the 5-door model, you get the extra doors, but they are very small doors, and if I'm being completely honest, they don't really help you get in and out of the car that much. Now onto the fun bit, the engine of the Mini Cooper S. It comes with a 2-litre block, which produces 192 horsepower, which in a car that is actually, there's not much to it, it does move along pretty well. Onto the sound of the Mini Cooper S. If you've got the Mini driving modes, you can put it in sport, and it kind of burbles around a bit, and also it's got launch control, which gives you some nice little sounds as well. But if I'm honest, it's a bit flat. If you rev it out right to the red line, it just sounds a bit tinny and a bit engine-y. But at low speed, actually, when you're kind of just moving around and you give it a little bit of throttle, you get a nice little induction sound, which makes the exhaust sound also sound quite good. So all in all, it's not too bad. It'll get you around 40 miles per gallon if you're being sensible, but in this little car nipping around town, you're more likely going to see around 30. The Mini Cooper S comes with 2 different transmission options. You have a 6-speed manual and a 7-speed automatic. We've got the 7-speed auto in this car, which is good, but I love the manual. The gear throw is slightly longer than you'd expect in a little car like this, but it absolutely adds to the enjoyment of driving the Mini. Having that gear stick there, it just makes you go through the gears and you just feel a lot more engaged with the car. The automatic, as good as it is, you really have to put it into manual mode and use the paddles on the steering wheel, mainly because you want to be in a slightly lower gear than it will choose for you. You get a lot more than engine response and the car just feels a bit more nippy. Now, if you go for the automatic, many say that you gain to 60, you gain a 0.1 second advantage having the automatic, so it makes no difference at all. But if you are driving around central London and you kind of just want to forget about, having to change gear and you just nip around, not having to worry about changing gears or anything like that, the automatic is a good option for you. Now let's move on to the inside of the Mini, and there are lots of options you can have. You can have cloth seats, leather seats, sports seats, and you still get the iconic big dial in the middle, but on some of the older ones where you would have had a rev counter, it's now a touchscreen. And it's quite a good system. A lot of people have told me that own these cars that they really get along with it and it's quite intuitive to use. I personally, it took me a day or so to get used to it. Some of the controls aren't quite where you'd think. You can operate it either with this little turn dial down here or via the touchscreen on the screen itself. I've always loved the toggle switches that come in the Mini, especially this like fighter pilot start-stop button that you get to turn the car on and off. The seating position in the Mini is good. What I'd recommend is going as low as you possibly can with the seat. Whoever was in this car before me had it jacked right up and you kind of felt like you were in a bus type Mini, like you felt a bit too high for the car. I like feeling a little bit lower and a little bit kind of more connected to the vehicle. There is an option in this car to have a armrest, and I'm not sure I like it. It kind of just gets in the way. It's very, very high. When you get used to it, it's fine because it does feel like quite a natural place to be able to put your elbow. But when you're trying to operate the handbrake, which obviously you use when you stop, it's completely in the way. You can, however, move it up and out the way, but then it kind of just doesn't, I don't know, it's a bit odd. It's kind of like the elephant in the room. I don't know if I like it, love it, or just want to throw it out the window, if I'm being completely honest. This car absolutely comes into life when you're driving it around town or maybe some nice little country roads. As I said, if you've got the automatic version, just push the gear stick to one side, you're in manual, all up to you on terms of what gear you want to be in. And this thing moves around, it's fantastic. It really darts in and out of all the side roads and it feels like it really handles the road quite well as well. Now, other than the engine and how nippy and fantastic this car is around town, I really wanted to talk to you about the customization of the Mini. I don't really know where to start. There is so much. If you've been on the Mini configurator on their website, you'll see how much you can change of this car. Let's first start with an option that I would tick if I was going to buy one, and that is the comfort pack. With the comfort pack, you get nice floor mats. You also get fantastic heated front height adjustable seats as well. If you've got an iPhone and you really want CarPlay, then make sure you tick the Nav pack. You'll get the Mini Nav system, Mini Connect and Apple CarPlay as well, so you can use all the functions of your iPhone on the inbuilt system. These options are both around £900 each, but you could go for the all-singing, all-dancing Nav Plus, which gets you real-time traffic, also the wireless charging for your phone. But at £2,000, and knowing that Waze on your phone is free, I wouldn't bother with that. Whee! Also, as you can imagine, this car is a doddle to park, especially now that, as standard, all the Minis come with a rear reversing camera and also parking sensors as well. Also, if you wanted to go for the automatic gearbox that's in this car, that is a £1,700 extra. An option that this car doesn't have, but I would 100% tick if you are buying a brand new Mini, is the Mini driving modes. What this does is it gives you a few different driving modes you can drive in. It gives you green, mid, and sport. There's a little toggle switch down here, which this one doesn't have, obviously. But when you put it in sport mode, it actually really does tighten the car up. The ECU changes the way that the car drives, the throttle response gets a bit better, and also if you've got the dynamic suspension option, it makes the suspension a bit harder. Something they have taken off the new generation Mini though, is that when you used to put it into sport mode, you used to get a great little message come up on the dashboard saying maximum go-kart feel. Unfortunately, you don't get that anymore. I feel like some of the fun of that Mini and getting to put it into sport mode has been lost a little bit. I'm a bit gutted that that message doesn't come up anymore. More personalisation on the Mini. You can pick from 12 different colours to have your new car in. There's some really nice ones actually. Chili red, I very much like chili red. There's also 3 different alloy options you can have as well. If you've got an extra £500 spare, you can have a head-up display, which is quite cool, but not really needed if I'm being completely honest. £700 will get you this lovely glass panoramic roof, which you can have, which extends all the way to the back. and £150 for a heated front screen, which maybe if you live in a very, very cold country, it might come in useful. And the customization does not stop there. You can go into a whole new world of customization for the Mini with Mini Yours. Now, I love this part of Mini. They've really let you basically personalize your car. So what you can do is 3D print via Mini's website a cool little side scuttle, so you can have a customized one of those. It also comes onto the inside as well with the dash fascia, and also the downlighting that you get from when you open the door. You can have your initial in there, you can have your company logo, whatever it is you want. Mini can 3D print it and it can be personalized to you for your car. Now on to price. The Mini Cooper S starts at 21,000 Great British pounds, which isn't bad, but that is base spec. And as I mentioned earlier, there's quite a lot you can customize with this car. You can actually go a little bit OTT. So I'd probably budget around 25,000, especially if you want the automatic gearbox, which, as I said earlier, comes in at £1,700. The Mini is a fantastic little car. I love these things, especially if you've got a manual, you'll really enjoy it. If you've got the automatic, just push the gear stick to one side and use the flappy paddles and you'll get just as much enjoyment out of it. It's a great car. Is it as good as some of its rivals? It's not quite as sharp, but it is very good at just driving around. It's a bit more comfortable, I'd say, than some of the other cars in its class. But it does get let down slightly by the space in the boot. You don't really get any, and if you're at a point in your life where maybe your kids are growing up a little bit and their legs are getting longer, you might want to think about one of the options, which could be the Ford Fiesta ST. It could also be the Audi A1. Maybe you're as well looking at the Volkswagen Polo, which is a fantastic car. Remember though, at botb.com at the moment, you could win a Mini Cooper S. They've also got a John Cooper Works and an incredible, all singing, all dancing Mulgari Mini Icon 2, which is just quite the most amazing car. It spins up even into third. It's just a crazy bit of kit. They're all on botb.com. They run a weekly dream car competition. Go and check those guys out. You never know, you could be next week's winner. Guys, thank you so much again for watching a review on the In the Headlights channel. Remember, we've got loads more podcasts, reviews, vlogs, all coming your way. So please do give this video a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back with more content very soon.